Welcome to the Lessons in Life, Love, and Leadership podcast with your hosts, Kelly and Cheryl Henderson. We chat about a variety of topics. Get ready. We're about to go in.
All right. Welcome to episode 0 of the Lessons in Life, Love, and Leadership podcast. I am Kelly.
I'm Cheryl.
All right. Thank you as you're going with us on this journey. And you should see it shared on all of our different platforms. We're rolling it out slowly but surely, but you should be able to see it on Facebook and YouTube and some of the other areas that you're able to see the podcast. So just thank you for just coming along. We've got a lot of positive feedback about our excerpts that we've been rolling out. We kind of got an episode X that is helping us to work the kinks out and, just figure out what we're doing in this particular space. But hopefully you'll be entertained and educated. Yep. And we can smash it together and call it edutainment.
Oh, wow. So why are we here tonight? What are we talking about?
Oh, man. So we're talking about this thing of being, or what is a power couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear that term bounced around a lot and bandied about. And, we really never understood what it was, but we looked at it as kind of a term of, I guess, endearment and things that just allowed us to be like, yeah, we're doing it as a couple. But what about you?
Well, as you know, we love photos. Well, actually, I love photos and Kelly endures my photo taking.
That's right.
But we noticed, and of course on Facebook, we like to celebrate and share a little bit of our journey on Facebook and Instagram and now Threads. And what we started to notice was people would write comments on our photos together that said, power couple, power couple. And so we took a step back and asked ourselves, why are we being called a power couple? Mm-hmm. And so, of course, we did a little bit of research. It wouldn't be educators if we weren't researching. And we found that in 1983, Robert and Elizabeth Dole were called the Becoming a Washington Power Couple.
Yep.
And then in 2021, Kevin Smith takes credit for the phrase power couple relating to just everyday people that are in a romantic or married relationship that are happy and productive.
Yes.
Kind of allowing this term not to be one that only describes people that are of fame and have a certain status, but really just couples that are happy and that productivity is a mark of their relationship.
Okay.
And so I think, the more we saw it, you and I just kind of took a step back and we were like, well, sounds like a compliment. Mm-hmm. And we humbly accept it. But then we want to pull back the layers and figure out what is it that people see? Because in a still photo, you actually see a moment in time.
Right.
But I felt like people noticed some trends in our lives. And so we had a conversation and we're going to use this metaphor of energy and currents to generate power sources. And so here's what we did. We got off our pedestal and started a conversation to unpack what are the energy sources that generate power in our life as individuals and in our relationship.
So I'd rather be a power couple instead of a toxic couple. Some folks say, oh, Lord, here they come. Or a dysfunctional couple. We think about it in the entertainment sense, and who is the toxic couple that you know of? Ike and Tina.
Oh, yeah. Like several went in my head, but they're top of the line.
Yeah. Or Bobby and Whitney or something like that. So we just want to make sure that we, continue to move the needle and talk about those things that help to elevate and lift up those ideals and those ideas that we have of people who are a power couple.
So we came up with 5 after we had our conversation. And so we're going to go through these 5. I recommend that you write them down. So number 1, energy source that generates power in our couple is this. Our faith is our foundation.
Yep. Many of you that know our particular story know that we met at church.
Reconnected.
Reconnected at church. Yeah, because In some of our earlier episodes, we talk about how we reconnected and met, and folks know that we went to high school together. We weren't high school sweethearts, but we were high school classmates. And, faith is our foundation.
Yeah.
And we met at church right at 14 years ago, and we're still connected at the church. And it has been very, very central to the way that we build ourselves up. Yeah. Church has been foundational in the fact that at that particular time it's helped us to become better people in the fact of the word that we've been receiving. Yep. And the application through a lot of different things. And through that time that we've been at our church, we've become lay leaders, and we do devotionals together, and, we just really centralize the things that we do in our life around church. Would you agree?
Yeah, and I want to punctuate this part of our faith that you said, right? Like, we go to church, we serve in our church, we lead in our church, but you said that there's application, and that's so important. So we literally, here's a plug for the Bible app. There are devotionals that you can do on the Bible app. We do one we're doing one as a church right now, but we do a Bible app study together. It's just the two of us. And there's a reading, there's an application, and then there's a part to talk about it. And I feel like that strengthened our faith. It's not just a Sunday thing. It's literally our foundation every single day.
And I think through that, one of the things that I'm learning is more about how you think. Just to go back in and read the comments, because we don't do the devotionals or Bible studies together as like we're sitting down working on them. They're uploaded to the Bible app, and shout out and a plug for the Bible app. Yep. It's amazing. You can do a Bible study on just about anything that you can imagine. But it allows you to go through whatever the devotional is. It has those relevant scriptures that are applied to it. And then it gives you an opportunity to really go back in and give your thoughts and your commentary about it. And I'm always amazed at the things that you get an opportunity to say and relate in regards to what that particular topic is talking about. And I learn more and more, and it seems like even in our individualities, we are more aligned. So that thing helps us to understand that faith as our foundation is one of those things that help to build us up.
All right. So the second energy source that generates power in our relationship is friendship. And friendship is the flame that fuels passion and fun.
It almost sounds like the motto to my fraternity, where friendship is essential to the soul. Yeah, you know it, right?
But when I think about our friendship, it's like I love you, but I actually like you too. I enjoy being with you.
I would hope so.
You don't have to worry.
Okay.
But another thing that I know Kelly really feels strongly about is like communication and friendship. Like that's one of the pillars of friendship. What do you want to say about that?
So honestly, there are a lot of relationships where the couples are not friends. And through some of the things that we do as coaches, people confide in us and talk about some of the things that are happening in their relationships. And it is not friendly at all. It's almost like that movie, I think that came out in the 80s, The War of the Roses, where, they loved each other, but they were fighting. They have a basis of love, and some people are stuck together for the commitment and not the things that build that out. Friendship is very, very critical and crucial to becoming a power couple, because I got to know that you have my back and you got to know that I have yours. And that's the essence of friends. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Yep. So number one, faith is our foundation. Number two, friendship is the flame that fuels passion and fun. And we'll talk about passion later.
Right.
Number three, our individual interest maintain independence and interdependence.
Okay. Yep. So we are not codependent, meaning that we both have separate lives. I think in this stage of our relationship, just due to the fact that we are grown and we have our own individual passion projects,
Yep.
individual organizations, civic and friend groups and things like that. While we have some that mix together, we still take time to do things alone. You know, it's okay for you to go on your girls' trips.
Yeah.
It's fine for you to, you know, have a girls' night out and do all of these different things. And, you know, I'm not blowing up your phone every 5 or 10 minutes, where you at, what you're doing, what's going on. And I think you provide me with that same level of respect as well. And it allows for us to be stronger, because those times that we are separated from each other, we go and recharge, and then that makes us stronger for each other. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I just want to add one other thing about our individual interests. I actually love being able to be on your arm at these events for your organizations that
That's
you
right.
are affiliated with.
Yes.
Because it's a world that I'm not a part of, but I do feel included. Like the independence, like it's your organization, it's your affiliation. But the interdependence is when I'm able to come alongside you.
Right.
And same with me, you know, like I have my interests. And I said this early on in our relationship, that you've created a space, Kelly, where I feel free to grow and to pursue my own individual interest without taking away from what it is that we have collectively. So, all right, let's do a recap. Faith is our foundation.
Right.
Friendship is the flame that fuels passion and fun. Number 3, our individual interest maintain independence and interdependence. And number 4, drive. Drive is the fuel of our determination and motivation.
And when it talks about drive, it's interesting because we are 2 type A driven individuals. You know, we both are very competitive in our personal and professional lives. And it's an interesting dynamic in this house when you got 2 people that are almost going 100 miles an hour in our different lanes. But we provide space for each other, and we help to lift each other up in these seasons when things get really, really busy. You know, I can think back to when you were working on your dissertation and, you know, the drive and determination that you had to do to finish that. As people know, I've been a principal and been working in situations to where there are very, very busy seasons and seasons where I can't be around as much as I would like to be, but you know, we still provide that space and place for one another to be able to reconnect and do those things.
Yeah. So important. We are driven, and it fuels us. And that leads us to the 5th one, and you kind of alluded to it, right? Our ability to support one another. Like when you took over everything while I worked on my dissertation, that was huge, which leads us to number 5. The number 5 is togetherness. We show up big for each other. And we have this saying in our house, like, that one of us gets to be the sun. I can't take credit for that. It came from one of my mentors, Candace, who is phenomenal. But she had to help me understand that that one person gets to be the sun in different seasons of life.
Sure.
And that looks like in my dissertation season, Kelly took over all the other things. All the energy was given to me while he took care of all the other things that needed to be taken care of. And so now Kelly is the son, where I'm able to, everything revolves around his schedule, his needs. And it's a beautiful thing to see that we get to show up big for one another.
That's right.
But it's rooted in togetherness.
And we really help to celebrate one another. And the thing that I'll unpack for you, though, is that you really help me to understand how to celebrate. And that goes back to my thing for drive. It's like I'm task driven. So rarely do I stop and relish the moment and sit back and celebrate. I'm like, okay, once I get this thing done, on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And I believe in our time together, you have really helped me to become a better person and recognizing that the things that I do are accomplishments. So those accomplishments need to be celebrated or at least acknowledged, because, you know, I'm not big on celebrating, but you really helped me to do that. So thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. All right. Well, let's go. Let's recap them as we're winding down. So number 1, these are the 5 energy sources that make us a power couple. Number 1, faith is our foundation.
Yep.
Number 2, friendship is the flame that fuels passion and fun. Number 3, our individual interests maintain independence and interdependence. Number 4, drive is the fuel of our determination and motivation. And number 5, togetherness. We show up big for each other, and each one of us gets to be the sun.
Yeah. So what are your parting thoughts or ending thoughts on all of this? Because again, we want people to understand what a power couple to us is.
Yeah. Yep. Our definition. Well, I think you say it better than I would. I think once we started peeling back the layers and figuring out the energy sources, if it's not energizing you, it's probably not making your couple or your relationship powerful. If it's draining, then you need some outside resources for that. Right. But these things are actually drivers, and they fuel us, and we are better because of them. And so I think, like, take some inventory in a relationship. That might be my parting thought. Okay. And figure out, like, first of all, what's driving and fueling you all, and then figure out what's the drainers, because those are the things that you want to take care of.
I like that. Drivers and drainers. Okay, so build that out just a little bit when you talk about your drivers and drainers.
Yeah, well, I can take actually each one of these. So number 1, friendship. We fuel our relationship by having a friendship that's marked with trust and support. So if there's a issue in your relationship where there's a lack of trust, or somebody can't celebrate the other, then that might be a drainer. You might need to unpack, what is that? Right. And so is there an area that needs to be supported or addressed? Is there a little bit of insecurity going on in there? Some selfishness going on? So you want to check that if it's draining. But if it's driving and fueling, then it's definitely an energy source that's going to bring power.
I think that kind of goes back to when we were dating and we were having those crucial foundational building block conversations. And I think one of the things that I said as we were establishing our relationships is that I'm not looking for liabilities. I'm looking for assets. How can you help to lift me up? You know, and that piece is really kind of parallel to what you were talking about with those drivers and drainers.
And I remember that conversation. So as we get ready to wrap up, every time we get together like this, we want to leave you with a resource, a book that we've read that's relevant to the topic. So what's our book for today?
So a book that I truly recommend is by a gentleman that I listen to a podcast of, and that is Bishop Joseph W. Walker III out of Nashville, out of Mount Zion Full Gospel Church, and his wife Stephanie Walker, and it's called Becoming a Couple of Destiny. And both Cheryl and I use this book as a book study, you know, as we're going through and looking at those things. But it really is great and foundational. And it's called Becoming a Couple of Destiny, Living, Loving, and Creating a Life That Matters. And, you know, a couple of the things I guess were highlighted in this was that, you know, we get stronger and stronger through the different elements and attacks in our life. And what it said to me was what each attack does is it gives us an opportunity to learn more and more about each other. It also gives us an opportunity really to focus back and learn more about ourselves. And it helps to keep us on our knees looking forward. So I just think about all of these elements and building blocks that we've had, like the faith, friendship, our individualities, the drive, and togetherness is all built. And you know that the stronger you get, there are going to be tests and attacks on you and your relationship. So you always want to just keep that together and, you know, keep that in the forefront. But, you know, I recommend it. This is an older version of the book. I think he is getting ready to come out with another version. And I've been waiting on it, looking on Amazon, kind of with bated breath. So if it is out at the dropping of this video, I would urge you to get a copy of that book. And it's called Becoming a Couple of Destiny by Bishop Dr. Joseph W. Walker III and his wife, who is a medical doctor, Dr. Stephanie Walker.
All right. Well, you've been with us for a while. We have unpacked what it means to the Hendersons to be a power couple. So we want to answer this question. All right, Kelly. So what's the lesson for today?
The lesson is need to make sure that you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing in the relationship and not being, I guess, a liability.
All right. And anyone can be a power couple. There's no secret sauce. The power resides in you. Thank you for joining us.
That's right. All right. See you guys later.